Just a heads up. To start Dragon Ball Z off, we got Raditz landing on Earth in his space pod. He then searches for his brother Kakarot, also known as Goku, to partner up with him for the very purpose of destroying planets. Raditz finds Goku at Kame's house and urges him to join his side. Goku refuses, and so Raditz knees the fuck out of him and takes his son Gohan, later confining him in his space pod. Goku and Piccolo then arrive to take on Raditz. Raditz manages to overpower both of them and makes Goku a step stool. Through anger, Gohan escapes the space pod and hits Raditz with a powerful headbutt. Goku then sees the opportunity and restrains Raditz, allowing Piccolo to use his special beam cannon, picking up a nice little two-piece. This sends Goku to the check-in station in Otherworlds, where he was dispatched by King Yama to travel on Snake Way to get to King Kai's planet, where he'll be able to receive training from King Kai himself. With Goku traveling on Snake Way for episodes, Piccolo takes Gohan and puts him through training because he's aware of the two Saiyans coming to Earth, and he knew that more power was necessary to defend it. For the first part of Gohan's training, he had to survive alone in the wilderness for 6 months. During his training, he waters some rocks and unintentionally transforms into a great ape. Piccolo then stops Gohan's rampage by destroying the moon and removing his tail. Wait, hold up. Did Piccolo just destroy the moon? That seems realistic. Going forward a couple of months, Gohan successfully passes the first part of his training and now moves on to the next, which is sparring with Piccolo. During the spar, Gohan transforms into a great ape once again because his tail grows back and there's a full moon being projected from Raditz's space pod. To stop Gohan, Piccolo destroys his space pod to get rid of the projection, ultimately leading to the end of Gohan's great ape transformation. He then removes Gohan's tail and resumes his training after he wakes up. After running a marathon across Snake Way, Goku finally arrives at King Kai's planet and there he notices the gravity is far greater than Earth's. He then meets King Kai and then undergoes training in the gravity that's roughly 10 times stronger than Earth's. After completing the training, Goku is able to withstand the gravity on this planet and also learn the Spirit Bomb and the martial art technique Kaioken. Goku then wants to get wished back to life, and so while Master Roshi is dropping the kids off at the pool, he contacts him using King Kai's telepathic abilities. Shortly after, Goku is resurrected through Shenron and heads back on Snake Way to the check-in station where he'll be able to return back to Earth. Meanwhile, the two Saiyans Nappa and Vegeta arrive on Earth. They encounter the Z-Fighters, and to start things off, Nappa plants Cybermen seeds and grows them like fucking vegetables. The Z-Fighters then fight the Cybermen and it looks like Yamcha takes a fat L. Yup, he's out cold. Krillin then goes into a brief rage because of Yamcha's death and obliterates all of the Cybermen with a single blast, leaving one left which Piccolo disposes with ease. Nappa then goes up against the Z-Fighter starting with Tien, and there goes Tien's arm. Chaozu then sneaks up on Nappa and manages to get a hold of him, and self-destructs with the intention of taking Nappa down with him, and he kind of failed. Through mere anger, Tien takes on Nappa with a missing arm, and as a result, it's not really a surprise. Nappa then shoots a ki blast at Gohan, but Piccolo says nope and blocks it with his life. Shortly after, Goku then defeats Nappa, but Vegeta is the one that finishes the job by turning Nappa into an overcooked shit. Gohan and Krillin then retreats to Kame's house while Goku and Vegeta settle their battle. During the fight, Vegeta creates an artificial moon to transform into a great ape and literally crushes Goku. Gohan and Krillin then returns and finds Yajirobe at the scene. They then plot a plan to cut off Vegeta's tail, so Yajirobe comes in clutch and slashes the tail clean off, returning Vegeta to his original state. Gohan then takes on Vegeta, and with the element of surprise, Krillin smacks Vegeta with a Spirit Bomb. Vegeta then gets back up and steals the fuck out of Krillin. Moments after, Yajirobe ambushes Vegeta and slashes him in the back, but Vegeta gets back up and hits him with a mean roundhouse kick. With time elapsing, Gohan grows his tail back, and with the artificial moon still active, he transforms into a great ape and attacks Vegeta. Vegeta then uses something similar to the Destructor Disc because if you really think about it, Vegeta is Kakashi's twin brother. Using the bullet Destructor Disc, he slices Gohan's tail off, returning Gohan to his original state. Vegeta then calls in his space pod to make an escape. As a reaction, Krillin picks up Yajirobe's sword and attempts to kill him, but then is stopped by Goku, allowing Vegeta to flee. A little after, Chichi-Bulma and a couple others arrive in a plane and recovers everyone. On the plane ride, Krillin speculates that there might be a way to bring back everyone who died. Even though Kami is no longer alive because Piccolo died, Krillin says that they should go to Planet Namek to collect the Dragon Balls there so they can wish back their friends. No one was opposed to the idea, so Bulma scavenges an abandoned spaceship and brings it back to her lab to refurbish it. Once it was completely renovated, Bulma, Gohan, and Krillin head out to Namek, leaving Goku behind because he's still in critical condition. Meanwhile, Vegeta makes a full recovery and heads to Namek as well, with the ambition to collect all 7 Dragon Balls so he can wish for eternal life. With that being said, Vegeta lands on Namek a couple of minutes after Bulma's squad does. So far, 4 of the 7 Dragon Balls have been collected by a purple lipstick bitch named Frieza. Frieza has soldiers scouting the area, and so 2 of them find Bulma, Krillin, and Gohan. They end up destroying the spaceship, and so Gohan and Krillin had to fuck their shit up. After that, Frieza and his henchmen fly by, and so Krillin and Gohan decide to go after them to see where they were heading to, leaving Bulma behind to set camp. At this time, Goku makes a full recovery because Yajirobe drops by and gives Goku a sensu bean. Goku then goes to Dr. Briefs to get access to his spaceship so he can head to Namek. While Goku is traveling to Namek, he uses the artificial gravity machine installed into the spaceship to train. During this time, Gohan and Krillin are currently watching the engagement between Frieza and the Namekians. They then witness Dodoria ruthlessly killing one of the Namekian children. Dodoria then goes for the second child, but Gohan jumps in and hits him with a mean roundhouse kick to the mouth. Krillin and Gohan then flees with a Namekian child named Dende. Dodoria goes after them, but Krillin uses Solar Flare, which temporarily blinds him, allowing them to make a successful escape back to their campsite. Shortly after that, Vegeta ambushes Dodoria and ends up toasting him to a crisp. Vegeta then heads to a Namekian village and eradicates everyone living there and acquires the 4-star Dragon Ball. He then hides the Dragon Ball underwater to prevent Frieza from gathering all 7. Shortly after, Vegeta encounters Zarbon. At first, Vegeta has the upper hand, but then loses it when Zarbon transforms into this ugly ass thing. So Vegeta takes an L, and so Zarbon flies away with the conclusion that he killed Vegeta, but really, he didn't. Moving forward, Krillin and Dende leave the campsite to head to Guru's house. There, Krillin is entrusted with the final Dragon Ball that has been captured, and along with that, Guru unleashes Krillin's hidden power. Once that was done, Krillin heads back to the campsite with the Dragon Ball, simultaneously as Gohan leaves the campsite to gather a Dragon Ball nearby. Shortly after, Zarbon gets a lecture from Frieza for his carelessness and is dispatched to retrieve Vegeta. Zarbon recovers Vegeta and brings him back to the spaceship, where they soon place him in a medical machine because they want Vegeta alive to interrogate him about the Dragon Balls. Vegeta makes a complete recovery and kills the purple bitch that was supervising him. He then heads to the room that contains the 5 Dragon Balls that Frieza collected and throws them out to a specific location and makes his escape. Vegeta then places the 5 Dragon Balls in his little hiding spot, and there he sees Krillin flying over him with a Dragon Ball in his hand. Vegeta goes after him, but while he's on Krillin's trail, Zarbon spots Vegeta and pursues him. After a bit of time, Krillin returns back to the camp, and soon after, Vegeta and Zarbon make their appearance. Vegeta then says he'll be the one to take Krillin's balls, and then blasts Zarbon through the stomach. Krillin had no choice but to hand his balls over. Okay, let me stop. Krillin had no choice but to hand the Dragon Ball over to Vegeta to spare his and Bulma's life. Vegeta then flies away with the Dragon Ball, but little does he know Gohan has a Dragon Ball in his possession, which he successfully brings back to the campsite. They then relocate because they knew that Vegeta was going to go after them once he finds out his Dragon Ball went missing. Moving forward, Frieza calls in the Ginyu Force as reinforcement, and Gohan and Krillin head out to Guru's house so Gohan could get his hidden powers released. With Krillin and Gohan going at full speed, Vegeta senses their power levels and goes after them. As they get close to Guru's house, Vegeta catches up, and so Krillin allows Gohan to get his hidden powers unleashed while he holds him off. After Gohan's hidden powers were unleashed, he heads out of Guru's house with a Namekian named Nail. Soon after, Vegeta senses the Ginyu Force coming and panics, so he desperately asks Gohan and Krillin for the Dragon Ball so he can wish for immortality. Krillin doesn't completely agree with the idea, but he creates an alliance with Vegeta, and so they head out to gather the Dragon Balls. By the time they gathered the Dragon Balls, the Ginyu Force has landed and were dispatched by Frieza to retrieve the Dragon Balls. The fuck are these poses? Krillin was hesitant about giving the Dragon Ball to Vegeta, and so the Ginyu Force arrives before they can use them. The leader of the Ginyu Force, Captain Ginyu, then takes all of the Dragon Balls to bring back to Frieza, leaving Vegeta, Krillin, and Gohan to fight the 4 members of the Ginyu Force. The first member of the Ginyu Force to fight is Goldo, a fat green bitch who ate far too much Burger King. And there goes his head. The next member to fight is Raccoon, I fucked my cousin last week head-ass bitch. Vegeta takes a beating and Krillin gets roundhouse kicked, leaving Gohan left to fight. With that being said, Gohan gets his neck broken, turning him into a bobblehead. Shortly after that happens, Captain Ginyu returns back to Frieza with all 7 Dragon Balls. Frieza was unable to activate them because he didn't know the password, and so he heads to Guru's house to get it. Moving forward, Goku lands on Namek after completing his training in 100 times gravity. Goku then heads to the battlefield and gives a sensu beam to Gohan, Krillin, and Vegeta. Shortly after, he takes on Raccoon and takes him out in one blow. After that, he takes on Burter and Jace at the same time. Goku takes down Burter first and allows Jace to retreat. Moments after, Vegeta ends Burter by kneeing him in the throat, and Raccoon by overcooking him. Minutes later, Jace returns with Captain Ginyu. Gohan and Krillin then retreats to retrieve the Dragon Balls at Frieza's spaceship, leaving Goku and Vegeta behind to handle Captain Ginyu and Jace. And it looks like Vegeta snakes Goku. Moving forward, Frieza arrives at Guru's house and asks Nail and Guru for the password to activate the Dragon Balls. Frieza doesn't get an answer, and so he grows impatient and urges to kill Nail. Nail then leads Frieza to this place to fight, for the sole purpose to stall so then they can get over to Gohan and Krillin to activate the Dragon Balls. Meanwhile, Goku is now facing Captain Ginyu. During the fight, Captain Ginyu inflicts damage to himself and uses his body change technique to switch bodies with Goku. Shortly after, Captain Ginyu and Jace leave to head back to Frieza's spaceship, leaving Goku behind in critical condition. Meanwhile, Vegeta as well as Krillin and Gohan arrive at Frieza's spaceship. Using the Dragon Radar, Gohan and Krillin find the Dragon Balls and attempt to use them but fails because they forgot to ask Guru for the password. Soon after, Captain Ginyu and Jace arrive. At first, they believe that Captain Ginyu is Goku, but Gohan notices that it's not and convinces Krillin. A little after, Goku arrives and it looks like Captain Ginyu gets gangbanged by the 3 of them. While this is happening, Vegeta takes on Jace and he overcooked him. Vegeta then goes for Captain Ginyu and almost gets hit by his body change technique, but Goku manages to get there in time and gets his body back. Captain Ginyu then tries to body change with Vegeta once again, but Goku throws a frog into it and yeah. Captain Ginyu is a frog now. Moving forward, Vegeta creates an alliance with the Z Fighters because he believes that they can help activate the Dragon Balls and kill Frieza. Goku is then placed in a medical machine and Saiyan armor is given to Gohan and Krillin. Krillin then heads out to get the password from Guru, but then he encounters Dende. Dende then tells Krillin that the only way to activate the Dragon Balls is by speaking Namekian. They then regroup with Gohan and gather all the Dragon Balls away from the spaceship to prevent Vegeta from wishing. Meanwhile, Nail's pretty much near death after taking a mad-ass beating from Frieza. He then tells Frieza that he has been stalling so Dende can get the password over to the Earthlings. With Frieza approaching quickly, Dende activates the Dragon Balls to summon Purunga. Gohan and Krillin then wishes to revive their friends, but Purunga says that he only has the power to revive 1 life at a time. So they use the first wish to revive Piccolo and the second to transport him to Namek. While this is happening, Vegeta wakes up from his nap after sensing Frieza's power level nearby. He then sees Purunga in the distance and rushes to get there before every wish is used. Just as Vegeta arrives, Purunga disappears because Guru dies. Shortly after, Frieza makes his appearance, giving everyone an erection. Moving forward, Piccolo stumbles across Nail and merges with him. After that, he then makes his way to the battlefield. To start things off, we got Vegeta going up against Frieza. After fighting for a bit, Frieza transforms. Frieza then catches Krillin with his horn and then drops him into the water. After seeing this, Gohan gets angry and so he shoots his pew-pews at Frieza, but doesn't do jack shit. Frieza then overpowers Gohan and makes his head a step stool. Krillin saves Gohan by throwing a destructo disc and baiting Frieza away from Gohan so Dende can heal him. With Frieza on his tail, Krillin uses Solar Flare to escape him and regroups with the others. Shortly after, Piccolo arrives and so he takes on Frieza one-on-one. After taking an ass beating, Frieza then transforms into his dickhead form. And with that being said, Piccolo takes an L. For real, what the fuck is this shit? Gohan then takes Piccolo's spot and fights Frieza. While they're fighting, Vegeta tells Krillin to attack him with a heavy blast so he can acquire greater strength, assuming that Dende will heal him right after. Krillin follows goes through and attacks Vegeta. Vegeta then begs Dende to heal him, but Dende refuses and goes on to heal Piccolo. Frieza then enters his next transformation, and with that being said, Dende heals Vegeta because they needed his power in order to defeat Frieza. After Vegeta got healed, Frieza targets Dende and turns him into a burnt marshmallow. Vegeta then takes on Frieza 1v1 and takes a fat L. Moments after, Goku makes a complete recovery and arrives at the battlefield. Vegeta then runs his mouth at Frieza and he dead. Goku and Frieza then fight after fighting for a couple of episodes. Goku starts charging his Spirit Bomb. Piccolo helps buy time and fights Frieza. After a good bit of time, the bomb of ass beatery is ready, and so Goku drops it on Frieza. But if you really think about it, he survives because he's kind of fucking Frieza. Frieza then shoots a beam at Piccolo and pops Krillin like a bag of chips that hasn't been opened. Through this tragedy, Goku unlocks Super Saiyan. Goku then tells Gohan to take his spaceship back to Earth with Piccolo and Bulma, and so Gohan leaves to do just that. Frieza then drops a massive attack on Namek, causing the planet to self-destruct slowly but surely. Frieza then enters his final transformation, also known as his full power transformation, and resumes his battle with Goku. Meanwhile, Mr. Popo gathers the Earth's Dragon Balls to summon Shenron, and wishes to revive Frieza's victims. With Guru back alive, the Namekian Dragon Balls are active again. King Kai then contacts Guru using telepathy, and asks him to use Purunga's last wish to transfer everyone on Namek to Earth, except Frieza and Goku. Dende executes this wish, and so this leaves Goku and Frieza to settle things on this deteriorating planet. Frieza ends up using his signature move, the double portable pizza cutter, and ends up slicing up himself. That's embarrassing. Frieza then begs for mercy, and with Goku being the soft-ass bitch he is, he gives Frieza enough energy to move. Frieza then tries to attack Goku, but Goku easily overpowers him and smacks that bitch easy money. With that being said, Guru dies. Okay, I know that was irrelevant, but I didn't know what to fit this information. Moving forward, Goku tries to escape Namek using Frieza's spaceship. This plan fails because the spaceship won't start up, and it looks like Namek self-destructs with Goku on it. 130 days later, the Namekian Dragon Balls are used once again to resurrect Goku and Krillin to the check-in station in Otherworld. Krillin is resurrected, but Goku isn't, because apparently he's still alive. They then use the second wish to transport Krillin to Earth, and attempt to use the third to do the same for Goku. But Goku refuses to return, and so the last wish is used to resurrect Deadweight. Yamcha. 130 days pass once again, and so they use the first two wishes to resurrect Tien and Chaozu. After that, the Namekian use the last wish to transport themselves to another planet, so they can live their Namekian lives. Moving forward, we are now in the Garlic Jr. arc. Since it's not canon, it's time to skim through these episodes. To start things off, we got Marin, a hoe-ass bitch. Yup, that's a pretty accurate description. No, but to seriously start things off, we got Garlic Jr. invading the Lookout, releasing the black water mist on the Earth. Gohan, Krillin, and Piccolo then assemble to fight Garlic Jr. After freeing Kami and Mr. Popo, who are now heading to the bottom of the Lookout to distribute the sacred water on Earth. Garlic Jr. then opens up the Dead Zone, and ends up getting sucked into his own attack. That's embarrassing. With Garlic Jr. defeated, and the effects of the black water mist gone, the Garlic Jr. arc is now over. Moving forward, Frieza and King Cooler arrive on Earth. Shortly after they arrive, a guy with a sword appears and fucks their shit up in Super Saiyan. The guy then tells the Z-Fighters that Goku will be landing soon, and to follow him to the location where he'll be landing. After 2 hours of waiting, Goku arrives in his space pod. The guy then has a private conversation with Goku, and there he reveals that his name is Trunks and that he's from the future, also revealing that Vegeta and Bulma are his parents. He then warns Goku that in 3 years, 2 powerful androids will appear and put the Earth in danger, adding that in his timeline, those 2 androids killed all of the Z-Fighters. Trunks then gives Goku an antidote for a heart virus that will strike him not too far from now, and leaves to return back to his timeline. Apparently Piccolo heard the whole conversation with his big ass ears, and so he fills in everyone about the situation. After Piccolo explains everything about the androids, Vegeta asks Goku how he escaped Namek. Pause the video if you would like to know, because you got me fucked up if you think I'm explaining all this. Moving forward 3 years, the Z-Fighters gather up to prepare for the androids. Yajirobe drops by to give Goku senzu beans and leaves. Just as Yajirobe is flying away, he's shot down by the androids. The Z-Fighters then split up to find the androids, and it looks like Yamcha is their first victim. The rest of the Z-Fighters then arrive, and so Krillin takes Yamcha back to Bulma so he can get a senzu bean. Goku then leaves both of the androids away from the city to fight. Shortly after, Gohan and Yamcha head their direction. As Goku is fighting Android 19, his heart virus kicks in and so he takes an L. Vegeta then comes in clutch and saves Goku, then says, "Nobody kills Kakarot when I'm around. Destiny saved that pleasure for me." Okay, that was terrible. Yamcha then takes Goku back to his house so he can take the antidote, finally doing something useful. Vegeta then goes into Super Saiyan and crushes Android 19 with his Big Bang attack. With that being said, Android 20 retreats and plays hide and seek like a little bitch. After hiding for a while, Android 20 sneaks up on Piccolo and starts absorbing his energy, but soon after is stopped by Gohan. Shortly after, Trunks returns from the future and discovers that the androids that the Z-Fighters are fighting now aren't the same ones from his timeline, and through strong curiosity he heads to the battlefield. While Piccolo and Android 20 are fighting, Bulma and Yajirobe decide to drop by. Android 20 uses this opportunity to escape by using a key explosion, shooting them down as a diversion. Bulma then tells everyone that Android 20 is Dr. Gero, and that his lab is located in a cave somewhere just outside of North City. After hearing this, the Z-Fighters head out to search for the lab, except for Gohan, who had to bring Bulma, Yajirobe, and Baby Trunks back to Caps Corp. While searching for the lab, Krillin is ambushed but spared by Dr. Gero, because he feared that someone was getting close to his lab. Dr. Gero then rushes to his lab, but little did he know, Krillin was following him. Krillin then raises his power level to signal the others, but while he was doing that, Dr. Gero activates Androids 17 and 18, the 2 deadly androids from Trunks' timeline. Shortly after, Vegeta blasts the gate open, and so the Z Fighters witness the death of Dr. Gero. Just as the androids are about to release Android 16, Trunks attempts to stop them with a large ki blast, but fails. And so Android 16 is activated. Android 16 is programmed with the objective to kill Goku, so the androids head out to search for him. Vegeta then goes after them because he wants to fight, and so the rest of the Z Fighters follow. Once Vegeta caught up with the androids, he faces Android 18 first, and takes an L. The Z Fighters then hop into the action, and takes a massive L as well. The only Z Fighter that didn't participate is Krillin, who in the end gets a smooch from Android 18.
Hey, my boy Krillin, get in it?
After the androids left, Krillin gives the sensu bean to each of the fallen Z Fighters. Shortly after, Vegeta leaves ashamed of his defeat, and Piccolo leaves to head to the lookout to fuse with Kami because of his desperation for power. The rest of them, except for Tien, heads to Goku's house to relocate Goku to Master Roshi's house to prevent him from getting pooped on by the androids. Moving forward, Bulma discovers another time machine and notifies Trunks about it. Trunks gets confused after hearing this information because he believes that he owns the only time machine in existence. Through curiosity, Trunks goes to examine the time machine and discovers that it's identical to the one he uses. He then looks further into it and finds out that it was used 4 years ago, and also finds a weird ass eggshell inside of it. After examining the time machine, Trunks, Bulma, and Gohan find a large mole of some type of creature,
Foreshadowing the next villain.
Moving forward, according to the news, 15,000 people were wiped out in Ginger Town, with only their clothes remaining. After sensing this tragedy, Kami fuses with Piccolo, and shortly after, Piccolo heads out to Ginger Town. Once Piccolo arrived, he encounters the creature responsible for the eradication of the population. After fighting for a bit, the creature then explains to Piccolo that he came here from another timeline with a time machine,
The one that Trunks examined.
They then resume the fight, and it looks like Cell penetrates Piccolo with his extra long paws. Piccolo manages to escape the creature's grip, but now his arm's kind of looking like my dick. Just kidding. Piccolo then bluffs and says that he surrenders and asks for the creature's true identity. That's when the creature reveals that his name is Cell and that he's one of Dr. Gero's androids. He then adds that he's an organism made of cells from the greatest fighters, and that he came to this timeline to absorb Android 18 and 17. After acquiring all of that information, Piccolo regenerates his arm using his Namekian abilities. Shortly after that, Krillin and Trunks arrive, leading Cell to use Solar Flare to retreat. Cell then heads to Nikki Town to absorb more civilians to increase his power. Moving forward, Krillin and Trunks head to Dr. Gero's lab to destroy the cell of this timeline before he develops. While they were there, Trunks finds the blueprints for Android 17 and takes them. After that, Krillin and Trunks destroys the lab, along with the cell of the timeline in his larva form. Trunks then gives the blueprints for Android 17 to Krillin, and heads to Vegeta to train with him. Krillin then heads over to Capsule Corp to deliver the blueprints to Bulma, so she can find the weakness to the androids. Moving forward, Goku makes a complete recovery and uses instant transmission to get to the lookout, after gathering Gohan, Vegeta, and Trunks. At the lookout, they use the hyperbolic time chamber to train, and so the first people to go in are Vegeta and Trunks. Meanwhile, the androids arrive at Kame's house for Goku. Piccolo refuses to tell the androids the location of Goku, and so he fights Android 17 a good distance away from Kame's house. After fighting for an episode or two, Cell appears, wipes out Piccolo, and absorbs Android 17. After absorbing 17, Cell transforms into his Big Daddy Fish Lips form. Android 16 then goes up against Cell, and gets smoked. Tien then comes out of the cut, and allows Android 16 and 18 to make their escape, while he drops his tri-beams of ass beatery. After a short period, Tien then runs out of juice and collapses. Goku then uses instant transmission to collect Tien and Piccolo, and brings them back to the lookout, giving them both a sensu bean. Moving forward, Bulma gives Krillin a remote that can destroy the androids and heads to the lookout. Shortly after Trunks and Vegeta complete their training in the hyperbolic time chamber, Bulma arrives with sand armor that she created, and supplies them to Goku, Gohan, Vegeta, and Trunks. Moments after they equip the armor, Vegeta and Trunks head out to fight Cell, and Goku and Gohan head to the hyperbolic time chamber to train. Moving forward, Vegeta is now fighting Cell, and while they're fighting, Krillin finds Android 18 and 16, and can't bring himself to push the button because of yeah. Krillin then smashes the remote and tells Android 18 to run. Meanwhile, Cell spots them and goes after 18. Vegeta doesn't stop Cell because if you really think about it, he's Vegeta. Trunks then tries to stop Cell, but every time he tried, Vegeta cock blocks him. So Trunks had enough of his shit, and so he had to get him out of the way real quick. Cell then uses Solar Flare to blind everyone, and so he successfully obtains his perfect form after absorbing Android 18. Vegeta then makes his return just to get his ass beat by Cell. Through rage, Vegeta charges his Final Flash and smacks Cell with it, pretty much doing nothing. With that being said, Vegeta takes a massive L. Trunks then goes up against Cell, but soon after, Cell stops the fight because he's disappointed in the Z Fighters' power. He then says that he'll give the Z Fighters more time to train, and also mentions that he'll be hosting a game to test his strength. Moving forward, Cell announces the Cell games on the news, stating the time and location. With that being said, Trunks and Vegeta head to the lookout to train in the hyperbolic time chamber. A short time after they arrive, Goku and Gohan exit the hyperbolic time chamber, and there they see Gohan in his Super Saiyan form. Piccolo then enters the hyperbolic time chamber to train, and then right after he finishes, Vegeta enters. While they're training in the hyperbolic time chamber, Goku heads to the new Namek to pick up Dende so he could become the guardian of the Earth. With Dende as the guardian, the Earth's Dragon Balls are now active once again. Moving forward, the Z Fighters gather for the Cell games and sees the world champion, Hercule. The first person to go up against Cell is Goku. After getting overpowered, Goku surrenders and makes Gohan take his place. Gohan then takes a beating, and so Android 16 hops in to help, but gets destroyed once again. Cell then poops out a couple of Cell Juniors to attack the Z Fighters on the sideline. While this is happening, Android 16 gives Gohan a powerful speech, but after witnessing the death of 16, Gohan unleashes Super Saiyan 2 and smokes all of the Cell Juniors. Moments after, he nails Cell in the stomach, making him spew out Android 18. Through desperation, Cell attempts to self-destruct, but Goku says nope and transports both of them to King Kai's planet. With that being said, everybody there dies, and the whole planet is annihilated. Oh wait, did I say everybody dies? Well, I lied. Cell is still alive because if you really think about it, He's Cell. That's when Gohan says that he's tired of this shit and stuffs his extra juicy father-son Kamehameha down Cell's throat, defeating him for good. The Z Fighters then head to the lookout to summon Shenron so they can bring back everyone who Cell killed. After that was done, Krillin uses the last wish with the approval of the others to remove the bombs implanted inside of Android 18 and 17. Trunks then leaves to return back to his timeline to destroy the androids in Cell, which he does with ease. Time skipping forward, Gohan is a high school student, Goten is born, and Krillin is married to Android 18 and has a child. With all the crime going on in the city, Gohan decides to get a costume to disguise his identity, and so the Great Saiyaman is born. Soon after, Hercule's daughter Videl finds out that Gohan is the Great Saiyaman and uses the secret to blackmail him into entering the world's martial arts tournament, and to also teach it to fly. With that being said, Goku contacts Gohan using King Kai's telepathic abilities to tell him that he will be entering the tournament also. Gohan then gathers a couple of the Z Fighters to enter the tournament, and then undergoes training with Goten. While the training, Videl drops by and demands for her flying lessons as promised. Gohan then teaches both Videl and Goten how to fly, and just as she's leaving, Gohan tells her that he likes girls with short hair, and so that explains her Ellen DeGeneres cut later on. Moving forward, the Z Fighters gather for the World Martial Arts Tournament, including Goku. The junior division is first, and so as a result, Trunks and Goten dominate to the finals. They then have an intense match, and it looks like Trunks takes the win. As a reward for winning, Trunks gets the opportunity to spar with the world champion, Hercule. After grabbing a bite, the Z Fighters encounter two strange people that are going to enter the tournament. Moving forward to the tournament, the first match is with Krillin and a fat boy, and Krillin wins. The second match is with Piccolo and this guy, and so Piccolo surrenders. The third match is with Videl and Spopovich, and it looks like Videl should have stayed home. The fourth match is with Gohan and Kibito, and this is when things start getting interesting, because this is when Piccolo discovers that the person he surrendered to is the Supreme Kai. Gohan then transforms into a Super Saiyan after being told to, and gets jumped by Spopovich and Yamu. After they absorb his energy, they leave, and so the Supreme Kai as well as the Z Fighters go after them. Shortly after, Kibito and Gohan follow. This is when Kibito and the Supreme Kai explain their plan to stop the resurrection of Majin Buu. Pause the video for the elaboration, because you got me fucked up if you think I'm explaining all this. They then arrive at Babidi's spaceship and sees Babidi killing off Spopovich and Yamu, after receiving the energy absorber containing Gohan's pure energy. Babidi then dispatches Deborah to take care of the Supreme Kai, Kibito, and the Z Fighters, and it looks like Kibito is the first one to get taken out. Deborah then spits on Piccolo and Krillin, turning them into stone statues, and retreats to Babidi's spaceship to bait the remaining fighters into a trap. Meanwhile, the tournament continues, disqualifying the ones that left. They decide to do a battle royale, and so the two irrelevant characters are eliminated right off the bat, leaving Android 18, Hercule, and Mighty Mass to fight. Hercule doesn't do shit, so Android 18 and Mighty Mass fight. While fighting, Android 18 realizes that Mighty Mass is Goten and Trunks, and so she uses her destructor disc to cut their costume in half, exposing them. They both were then disqualified, leaving Hercule and Android 18 remaining. Through desperation to keep his fame, he bribes Android 18 with 10 million Zenny along with the prize money to let him win.
What a true champ.
Moving forward, Vegeta falls under the influence of Babidi's spell after entering the spaceship. Once that was done, Babidi transports all four of them to the stadium, where Vegeta just says fuck the crowd. After that, Babidi transports them back somewhere near his spaceship, where Goku and Vegeta fight, while Gohan and the Supreme Kai enter Babidi's spaceship to stop the resurrection of Majin Buu. And they're too late. With that being said, Goku stops his battle with Vegeta to negotiate a partnership with him to stop Majin Buu. Opposed to that, Vegeta knocks Goku out cold while his guard is down and heads to fight Buu solo. Meanwhile, Gohan and the Supreme Kai take a beating from Buu, and Deborah gets turned into a cookie and eaten. While all of this is happening, Goten and Trunks are just chilling on the side watching. Soon after, Vegeta arrives to fight Majin Buu. After taking it up the butt, Vegeta unleashes a large ki explosion, but as a result, Vegeta is dusty as fuck. Piccolo then heads to the battlefield to check up on things and finds out that Majin Buu is still alive, and so he retreats and heads back to the lookout. Moving forward, Bulma and her squad gather all the 7 Dragon Balls to summon Shenron, and with doing so, they use the first wish to bring back everyone who died today, except the bad people. After waking up, Goku uses instant transmission to get to them and calls off Shenron to reserve the last wish. Shortly after, he transports everyone to the lookout. With Kibito back alive after being revived with the Dragon Balls, he heals the Supreme Kai and Gohan. After that, the Supreme Kai transports them to the world of the Kais, where Gohan undergoes training with a Z-Sword. Moving forward, Buu kills off Babidi, and Goku is now teaching Goten and Trunks the fusion technique. As an incentive to train, Goku shows Goten and Trunks Super Saiyan 3. With that being said, Goku burns up his last minutes on Earth, leaving Piccolo to instruct the fusion training. After returning to Otherworld, Goku senses Gohan and uses instant transmission to get to him. They then play some baseball and end up breaking the Z-Sword. At first they were hurt that the sword broke, but later realized that the sword training actually helped Gohan increase his overall strength. Moments after, the Elder Kai appears and starts the ritual to awaken Gohan's hidden power. Meanwhile, Goten and Trunks are still working on their fusion technique. After failing twice, they successfully fuse, and so Gotenks is born. With Gotenks being a cocky bitch, he heads to Majin Buu to fight, and takes a massive L. They then head back to the lookout to undergo more fusion training, implementing Super Saiyan to the mix. Moving forward, Hercule decides to head over to Buu's house to kill him. After many failed attempts, Hercule builds a bond with him and tries to change Buu for the better. They then adopt a puppy and... After B got shot, Buu heals him and Hercule brings the person responsible to justice. Shortly after, the person climbs into Buu's house and shoots Hercule. This makes Buu really angry, and so he releases Evil Buu. They both then fight, and Evil Buu wins by turning Good Buu into chocolate. Evil Buu then eats the chocolate and transforms into Super Buu. After that, he heads to the lookout to fight the Z Fighters. A short time after he arrives, he kills everyone on Earth except Hercule, B, Chaozu, and Tien. But in the end, Chaozu and Tien don't really do anything, so they really don't fucking matter. Buu then negotiates with Piccolo and agrees to wait 1 hour to fight Gotenks before he kills everyone on the lookout. Chi-Chi then goes up to Buu to bitch slap him and gets turned into an egg. Shortly after that hilarious tragedy, Goten and Trunks enter the hyperbolic time chamber to polish their fusion technique. Boo then loses his patience after 30 minutes of waiting and demands to fight now, so Piccolo leads him to the chamber to fulfill his request. After fighting for a couple of episodes, Piccolo believes that Boo is too strong, and so he destroys the exit to the hyperbolic time chamber, trapping all three of them. Or technically 4. Boo then throws a tantrum and screams, ripping a hole in the dimension, allowing him to escape. Boo then turns everyone on the lookout into chocolate and eats them. Shortly after, Gotenks goes into Super Saiyan 3 and rips a hole in the dimension the same way Boo did, and escapes the hyperbolic time chamber along with Piccolo. Gotenks and Boo then resume their fight, resulting in the destruction of the lookout. Shortly after, Gotenks runs out of juice and so their fusion depletes. Meanwhile, Gohan's potential is completely unleashed, and so he heads to the battlefield to fight Boo. After taking a beating from Gohan, Boo unleashes a large key explosion which doesn't affect anyone. With that being said, the Z Fighters happen to come across Hercule and Dende. Boo then returns and uses his bubblegum shit to absorb Piccolo and Gotenks. Shortly after, Gohan starts taking an L because if you really think about it, Boo absorbs Piccolo and Gotenks. Moving forward, Vegeta and Goku are granted the ability to return to Earth to fight Majin Buu. Before Goku leaves, the Elder Kai gives Goku the Potara, earrings that have the ability to fuse two people permanently. With that being said, Kibito and the Supreme Kai try it out, and so Kibito Kai is born. Goku then uses instant transmission to get to Earth shortly after Vegeta arrives. Goku then tells Vegeta to fuse with him, but Vegeta refuses to, and soon after Buu arrives. They then both take an L, and so as a last resort they use the Potara earrings to fuse into Vegito. After getting that ass beat around silly, Boo manages to absorb Vegeta using his bubblegum shit, and so as a result, their transformation is undone due to the odd atmosphere inside of Boo's body. Moving forward, they find Piccolo, Gohan, Goten, and Trunks, and freeze them from Boo. Shortly after, they find Good Boo and freeze him as well, forcing Boo to undergo another transformation. Goku and Vegeta then escapes Boo's body with the other Z Fighters in their hand, and now they have to go up against Kid Boo, the true manifestation of evil. Right off the bat, Kid Boo drops his gigantic ball of ass beatery, destroying the entire Earth along with the people on it. Luckily, Kibito Kai comes in clutch, and transports Goku along with the others to the world of the Kais before it hit. Shortly after, Boo appears, and so Kibito Kai transports Dende, the Elder Kai, and himself to another planet far away, after being told to by Goku. After fighting for a bit, Kid Boo throws up Good Boo, and so they fight, while Goku charges his Spirit Bomb. Meanwhile, Dende, Kibito Kai, and the Elder Kai head over to the new Namek to summon Purunga, to restore the Earth to revive everyone who died since the morning of the World Martial Arts Tournament, except, of course, the bad guys. Since the Spirit Bomb needed energy, Vegeta contacts the Earth telepathically with the help of King Kai, and tells everyone to raise their hand to give their energy, and he fails. Goku then tries to persuade everyone on Earth to give their energy, and successfully fails. Hercule then gives it a try, and asks everyone on Earth for their energy, and it works, because if you really think about it, they want his dick. So with that being said, Goku drops his fully charged Spirit Bomb down Kid Boo's throat, defeating him for good. After that, they return back to Earth, taking Good Boo along with them, and live happily ever after. The end. Just kidding. This is kind of an irrelevant part in my opinion, but I'll go over it anyways. Time skipping way forward to the next World Martial Arts Tournament, we got Goku going up against Kid Boo's reincarnation Oob. Goku stops the fight and flies away with Oob to become his master and to live in his village. With that being said, they live happily ever.
Shut the fuck up, Mo.